A short story by Vincent Williams. Prissy Cats. Christmas Eve Adventure. Get Allie home for Christmas. Dedicated to Javier and Sam for the loss of their beloved tabby Sebastian. It's Christmas Eve, and Prissy Cat is on the prowl for another day of adventures. Samantha, Prissy Cat's human, primps her pink bow, to go along with her pink collar and bell. With a sense of worry she said, "Silly cat, I can't have you getting lost." Finally, the door swings open and Prissy Cat is off to an adventure. Her friends, Sebastian, Lulu and Allie, are sitting on the fence having a discussion. Sebastian is an old tabby cat. Prissy Cat is a gray and black Siamese. Allie is a Persian alley cat. Lulu is Burmese. Because Sebastian is up to his old tricks with mice, Prissy Cat walks into an disagreement. Prissy, old Sebastian here is trying to train another mouse for those stupid rat races. Sebastian, with a look of surprise, said to Lulu, in a subdued way, "I thought that we agreed not to talk about that in front of Prissy. Where's your loyalty?" Lulu smirked and said, "I'm a cat, not a dog." Prissy frowned. "I can't with you right now, Sebastian." She pointed towards his house. "Go home and let him go." Pleading his case, Sebastian said, "If the mouse wins, he gets the cheese." Again, adamant, puts her paw on her hip and points towards Sebastian's house again. In a stern voice she said, "Go." He shakes his head and then pretends to run for home. In a very sinister voice he says, "I'll show those nosy cats. I'll never let him go." Laughing, he hides for a few minutes before walking back. "Thanks for saying something, Lulu. I told him, it's not a Pokemon." They all started laughing. Just then, Sebastian walks back up. As they begin walking, Prissy's bell was ringing loudly through the neighborhood. "I see that you have your GPS on again. Must the humans know everywhere that we go? Don't let him get to you." "I won't, Lulu. Besides, my human doesn't want me to get lost." With a devilish grin, Sebastian snidely said, "Why don't we just take it off while we play and then we can put it back on before you go home?" Prissy said okay. He grabs the bell off of her collar and throws it in the grass. Just then Flappin the squirrel scurries by. Hey, wait just a minute. What do you have there?" Flappin turned around mid-stride with his jaws apparently filled with nuts. Mumbling he said, "I'm working, Lulu." Sarcastically, she replied, "I'm a house cat, so, free room and board." Snidely she continues, "Unlike Allie here. I like my freedom. Plus, the cuisine is exquisite. One night it's French, another night it's Italian. I'm living the life." "Well, that's just silly. Don't you wish you had a home, Allie?" "I did once. I can't seem to remember where it is. And plus, my humans didn't want me anymore." Prissy Cat said, "Who told you that?" "Their other cat named Bull. He said he overheard them say that they wished I would just go away." "He was lying. He probably just made up the whole story just to get you to leave." "He was. So, the humans still want me?" "Yes. And, I bet they are worried sick wondering where you are." Prissy has a great idea. "Listen, Allie, the human days are tomorrow. My humans decorated the tree with lights and decorations. I have been playing with the balls and knocking them onto the floor. I usually get a new sweater or a new bow like last year's pink one I have on." Sebastian just yawned. "That's so boring." Lulu said, "Don't mind him, Prissy. Anyway, as I was saying, maybe we can help you find your home in time for that. You guys would do that for me?" "Yes." Lulu agreed too. Flappin. Mumbling again he said, "Let me take these nuts back to the family and then I'm your guy." Off scampers Flappin. Lulu looked over towards Sebastian. "What say you, old cat?" In an Italian voice he says, "Hey, I got a reputation to uphold, walking through other neighborhoods, with the likes of you. So, is that a yes?" Yes. I can't string you along for a moment." "Not really, I'm not in the mood for it." Continuing, Lulu said, "Allie, what do you remember about your house?" "I remember it's blue with a white picket fence. That's all." Asked Lulu. "Well, that's not much to go on. Do you remember the street name? N. something. What about your collar?" Let's see if it has an address or a name or something. Allie took off her collar and showed it to Lulu. She took a look at Allie's collar and said, "It had your address but it's been rubbed off. Hey, maybe your human scent is still on the collar." Just then Flappin scampers back. "What did I miss?" said Flappin. Sebastian said, "We are going to help Allie here try and find her home." Prissy said, "So, who is going to be brave enough and ask that old hound dog, Butters, to help sniff out Allie's home?" Lulu said, "Let's all go together as a team." So, all the cats walk over to see Butters. He is behind the fence barking at them. Woof, 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 woof. The cats are staring unbothered by all the woofing. Lulu spoke up for the group. "Hush, old hound. We got business." Gruffly he says, "What's that got to do with me, cat?" "Well, we're trying to help Allie here find her human's home. We figured, you being a hound, you could help us out. We've got a collar that needs sniffin'." Sebastian decided to use a little psychology on Butters. "So Butters, you are a hound dog, are you not?" With a bit of tension in his voice, he said, "Of course I'm a hound dog. I'm retired from competition." Sarcastically Sebastian said, "Well, you're not looking very houndily with all that barking. I was thinking you could come and brush up on your skills." "What do you think?" He saw right through Sebastian's plot. "I know what you're doing," said Butters. "Okay cat. Where is the collar?" Everyone smiled. So, Allie took it off her neck and held it out in front of that old hound's nose. He begins sniffing. Sniff, sniff. Jokingly, the hound says, "I smell a hint of oregano and garlic. That's gotta be something delicious from the Italian restaurant on the corner." "Come on hound, be serious," said Prissy. "I'm just joking." Just then that old hound got a scent. He gets to barking and turning in circles. Around and around. Lulu said, "So hound, why the spinning?" Almost out of breath he said, "It helps me to tell what direction the scent is strongest." "Oh, who knew? I got it," said Butters. "Due north." Prissy had a great idea. "Flappin, why don't you go high up in the trees and look for a blue house with a white picket fence, as we go along?" Lulu said, "That is a great idea." Along the way, Lulu called up to Flappin, who was high up in the trees, to see if he had seen any blue houses. Flappin had found the best selection of nuts he'd ever found. The only problem is, that when his mouth is full, he mumbles when he talks. He yelled back, mumbling. Lulu said, "Huh, what? I can't understand you." Flappin again, mumbling his response. Finally he came down out of the tree. Mouth full of nuts. Prissy Cat said, "Oh, that's why we can't understand you." Then he said, "You wouldn't believe the nuts that I found. I could feed the family for the rest of the week." She continues, "What about looking for the blue house?" Flappin dropped the nuts on the ground. He said, "I know. But, look at them, they're so pretty." His eyes had gazed over like he was in a trance. Prissy said, "Flappin, Flappin, snap out of it." Flappin said, "Huh." As they were going along, a little further, that old hound starts to wail and howl. "Is the scent getting stronger?" asked Prissy. All excited, that hound said, "No, look, it's Pup Cup World." He goes scampering off over to the coffee shop up to the drive-through window trying to get a pup cup. He's barking, trying to get someone to open the window. When someone finally does, they say, "Oh, what a good dog." Then they throw him a doggy treat and shut the window. As Butters wanders back over, laughing, Prissy Cat said, "What happened, Butters? You couldn't get a pup cup?" Grumbling, Butters said, "No, all I got was a doggy treat." "Well, you probably have to be with your human." Butters gave Prissy a fake smile. Also, along the way, we come upon the alley where they hold the daily rat race. That old cat Sebastian hears the post-time call similar to the Kentucky Derby. The runners are in position. He is frantically wanting to place a bet. The announcer says, "Place your bets here." Excited, he says, "Do you guys know who that is?" "That's Odds Makers. That's one cool cat." On the microphone we hear him say, "Step right up, best odds in the game. The over, the under. Get in on the action." They are trying to entice Sebastian to come and place a bet. Can't you just bet on the winner? Asked Allie. On just the winner, he said. We bet on how many steps you think they'd win by. That's where the real action is. Come on, Sebastian, we don't have time for this. But it's post time. Come on, don't take away my fun, Lulu. Old cat, remember, we are on a mission to get Allie home. What they didn't know is that Sebastian already had a runner in the race. He was just trying to make his friends think that he didn't. Butters said that the scent is getting stronger in the direction that they were going. They were on a street called North. Flappin spotted a house the same blue color with a white picket fence that Allie remembers. It's all decorated with Christmas lights. So he calls down to the cats, there is a blue house right up the street. They found Allie's home. It's really not that far away from Prissy Cat's. She hadn't really wandered that far away from home. She was just lost. When we finally reach the house, there is a puffy-haired Persian cat in the window. Who is that? Asked Prissy. That's Bull. As soon as he sees Allie, he mouths, great, she's back. He walks over and blocks the doggy door. Why did you have to come back, Allie? Why? Everything is going so much better without you. The humans are better without you around. So just go back to where you came from. Allie felt sad. Wait a minute, said Butters. We traveled near and far to reunite Allie with her humans. So, Butters rushed through the doggy door and chased Bull, barking and snarling that old fussy cat out of the way. Just then Allie's humans arrived home to see Allie back home safe and sound. They picked her up. Oh Allie, we've missed you. We thought you were lost forever. Then the man said, hey, I think those cats, that old dog and that squirrel, brought Allie home. Like a fairy tale. They're all just standing around looking in at Allie. The lady said, you think that could happen? The man said, nah, that could never happen. Then they both laughed. After all this, Bull was back in the window. Butters pointed to his eyes and mouthed to Bull, I'm watching you. In true cat-like fashion, Bull just squinted his eyes. The humans decided to have a party to celebrate Allie's return home. Bull said, great, she runs away, comes back, and they give her a party. So, they took party hats and put one on Allie and one on Bull. Bull thought, great, I look like a dunce. They put on music and danced. They brought out cat treats for the cats. Bull just sat in the window, jealous of Allie because the humans were glad that she was back home. Prissy Cat was proud of Butters. So, she takes off her pink bow and puts it on Butters' collar. Hey, what's this for? Now you're an honorary cat. You can take it off when we get home. Butters was happy because now they were all friends. Sebastian said, hey, who doesn't want to be a cat? He must have been in a good mood. He said, Prissy, here is your bell. I picked it up before we walked away. That was nice of you, Sebastian. Well, we don't want the humans to worry. So, Butters walked home proudly with the bow he got from Prissy Cat to the jeers and barks of dogs along the way. And, when he got home, his human saw the pink bow and started chasing Butters around the yard. We could hear him yelling, take off that pink bow, silly hound. About that time, Samantha is standing on her deck calling, Prissy Cat, here Prissy Cat. In a voice of concern, she said, Mama, Prissy Cat never wanders off like this. She's been gone a long time. I don't hear her bell ringing or nothing. Her mother said, give her time, sweetheart, she'll show up. But tomorrow is Christmas and I want to put the new sweater on her that I made. Oh Prissy, where could she be? Samantha went to her room and laid down on her bed. It wasn't long until Prissy's bell was ringing loudly through the neighborhood again. Samantha's mother went into her daughter's room. Honey, I think Prissy Cat is home. Do you hear her bell ringing? She asked. Yes, loud and clear. Samantha gets up and runs outside to greet her. She takes one look at Prissy Cat. Hey, where's your bow? What kind of adventure have you been on? I can't with this cat. She snuggles Prissy Cat and takes her inside. While she is walking up to her door, that old hound is barking and barking. She looks over and notices that old hound has on Prissy Cat's pink bow. What in the world? How did that dog get your bow? She goes inside the house. Mama, that dog across the way has on Prissy Cat's pink bow. A bit later, that old cat Sebastian was up to his old tricks. Hiding near the alleyway, a small figure from the shadows is calling to Sebastian. It's the mouse. Hey mouse. Did you do like I told you? Yep. I waited until the coast was clear, then I headed for the race. I won by 3 steps. Just like you said. I won a pile of cheese. Like a mob boss, Sebastian said. Okay mouse, you take that cheese to the Italian restaurant. He'll pay you. Take your cut and leave the rest back at the hideout. Unbeknownst to Sebastian, Butters was listening to the whole conversation. Butters thought to himself, that Sebastian is a sly old cat.